Have you ever felt like life is a relentless loop where failures stack upon failures, relationships crumble, and your goals always seem just out of reach? It's as if the harder you try, the more life pushes back, leaving you questioning, what am I doing wrong? But what if the struggles you face aren't random or unfair? What if they're not obstacles meant to break you but lessons designed to shape you? Life's challenges are not punishments, they're invitations to grow, evolve, and become stronger. This is where Stoic philosophy offers a profound shift in perspective. Rooted in ancient wisdom, it provides timeless principles to navigate life's chaos with grace, resilience, and clarity. Stoicism teaches that the storms we endure are not the end of the story, but the beginning of transformation. It equips us with tools to face adversity, manage emotions, and find meaning in the seemingly meaningless. Today, you'll discover 10 powerful life lessons inspired by Stoicism, lessons that go beyond theory, offering practical guidance for living a life of purpose, freedom, and fulfillment. Once you learn and embrace these lessons, you'll not only see the world differently, but become a person unshakable in the face of life's uncertainties. Let's begin. 1. Self-worth and relationships. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. In a world that often equates worth with wealth, possessions, or the approval of others, the wisdom of Epictetus reminds us that true value lies not in external validation, but in self-contentment. Understanding your intrinsic worth is the cornerstone of meaningful relationships and a fulfilling life. Yet, so many people fall into the trap of unhealthy connections, sacrificing their dignity and well-being in the hope of earning love or validation. Take the story of Emma, for instance. Emma was a vibrant, ambitious individual whose light was dimmed by a toxic relationship. Her partner constantly belittled her achievements, dismissed her dreams, and made her feel as though she had to earn their affection. Emma found herself walking on eggshells, prioritizing her partner's needs over her own, and losing touch with her sense of self. Weekends, once filled with joy and creativity, became marathons of trying to meet unrealistic expectations. Over time, Emma realized she was pouring herself into a relationship that depleted rather than enriched her. The turning point came when Emma encountered the principles of Stoic philosophy. She began to reflect on Epictetus's teaching, understanding that her worth was not dependent on anyone else's validation. Slowly, Emma learned to set boundaries, an act of self-respect and self-love. She stopped seeking approval from someone who failed to see her value and started surrounding herself with people who celebrated her for who she truly was. By embracing this shift, Emma's life transformed. Her social circle began to reflect her newfound sense of self-worth. She connected with friends who supported her dreams and respected her boundaries. These relationships were built on mutual respect and shared values, creating an environment where Emma could thrive. This change didn't come without challenges. Letting go of toxic relationships is never easy, as it often involves confronting feelings of guilt, fear, or inadequacy. But Emma's journey shows that the discomfort of leaving unhealthy dynamics is a small price to pay for the peace and joy that come from meaningful connections. When you prioritize your self-worth, the relationships in your life begin to shift. The people who are not meant to stay will naturally fade away, making room for those who uplift and inspire you. The right relationships don't demand that you prove your value or diminish yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, they nourish your growth and offer support in moments of struggle. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control how others perceive or treat us, but we can control the standards we set for our relationships. By valuing yourself, you ensure that the energy you invest in others is reciprocated and that your connections are built on a foundation of mutual respect. To live a truly rich life, as Epictetus suggested, is to have few wants. This includes letting go of the need for approval from those who don't see your worth and focusing instead on nurturing relationships that align with your values. The journey of self-worth may be challenging, but it's one of the most transformative steps you can take. By reclaiming your power and prioritizing meaningful connections, you pave the way for a life of deeper fulfillment, peace, and authenticity. Reflection. What relationships in your life uplift you? Are there any that diminish your sense of self-worth? Take a moment to evaluate and consider how embracing the Stoic principles of self-value can help you build a healthier, more fulfilling social circle. 2. The value of time. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Time is the most precious asset we possess, yet it is also the most fleeting. Unlike money or possessions, time cannot be saved, reclaimed, or multiplied. Each passing moment slips through our fingers, leaving only the question, did we use it wisely? Marcus Aurelius's profound reminder to live with the awareness of our mortality urges us to prioritize what truly matters and to eliminate distractions that squander our finite existence. Consider the story of Daniel, a young professional caught in the relentless pace of modern life. His days were filled with back-to-back meetings, endless scrolling through social media, and saying yes to every invitation for fear of missing out. Yet, at the end of each day, Daniel felt unfulfilled. Despite his busyness, he realized he wasn't making meaningful progress toward his long-term goals of writing a book and building deeper relationships with his family. One evening, Daniel came across the Stoic teaching of memento mori, the reminder of mortality, and it changed his perspective. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius's words, he began re-evaluating how he spent his time. He realized that while he couldn't control how much time he had left, he could control how he used it. Daniel decided to implement a strategy to realign his life with his values. He created a list of his top 3 priorities: writing, family, and health. Each day he allocated specific blocks of time to these priorities. Mornings were reserved for writing, evenings for family, and weekends for exercise and self-care. He also committed to cutting out activities that drained his energy without adding value: mindless scrolling, attending events out of obligation, and engaging in unproductive conversations. The change was transformative. With disciplined time management, Daniel made consistent progress on his book, strengthening his bond with his loved ones and improving his physical and mental well-being. He no longer felt as though life was slipping away unnoticed. Instead, each day became a meaningful step toward his goals. Stoicism emphasizes that we cannot afford to take time for granted. Aurelius's reminder to let that determine what you do and say and think encourages us to live intentionally. By recognizing the brevity of life, we're compelled to strip away distractions and focus on what truly matters. This means saying no to activities that don't align with our purpose and redirecting our energy toward goals that leave a lasting impact. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of busyness, equating activity with productivity. Yet, without clear priorities, we risk spending our time on tasks that bring little fulfillment. Stoic wisdom urges us to pause, reflect, and ask, am I using my time in service of my highest values? Living with an awareness of time's fleeting nature transforms the way we approach our days. It shifts our focus from trivial distractions to meaningful endeavors. Each decision becomes an investment, and each moment a chance to grow, contribute, or connect? Reflection. Are you using your time in alignment with your priorities? Take a moment to identify the distractions you can eliminate and the values you want to prioritize. By doing so, you honor the precious gift of time and live with purpose, clarity, and intention. 3. Facing adversity. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. If time is our most precious resource, how we respond to adversity determines how meaningfully we use that resource. Challenges are an inevitable part of life, yet most people view them as obstacles to avoid rather than opportunities to embrace. Marcus Aurelius's timeless wisdom teaches us to reframe our mindset. Every hardship is not a roadblock, but a stepping stone toward growth. What stands in the way does not stop us, it becomes the way. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, whose life illustrates this principle with striking clarity. During World War II, Frankl endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps, losing his family and his freedom. Yet even in the face of such profound adversity, Frankl chose to focus not on what he had lost, but on what he could still control: his attitude and his ability to find meaning in his suffering. Frankl observed that those who survived were often not the physically strongest, but those who held on to a sense of purpose. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Instead of succumbing to despair, Frankl reframed his suffering as an opportunity to understand the depths of human resilience. This mindset not only helped him survive, but inspired millions to view adversity as a catalyst for transformation. The lessons from Frankl's story resonate deeply with Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the external events that challenge us, we can control how we perceive and respond to them. By shifting our perspective, we can transform hardship into a source of strength and wisdom. Imagine a boulder blocking your path. A common reaction would be frustration or defeat, viewing the obstacle as insurmountable. However, a Stoic would see the boulder differently, as an opportunity to climb higher, build strength, and discover a better path. The adversity you face is not the enemy, it is the forge that shapes you. Ask yourself, how do you currently view challenges in your life? Do you see them as barriers or as opportunities for growth? Reflect on a time when adversity taught you something valuable, perhaps resilience, creativity, or patience. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may inspire someone else who is struggling to see the way forward. Stoicism equips us with practical tools to face adversity head-on. First, it reminds us to focus on what we can control. Instead of wasting energy on frustration or fear, redirect your efforts toward actionable steps. Second, it encourages us to see the bigger picture. Often, challenges feel overwhelming in the moment, but they serve as chapters in the larger story of our growth. Lastly, Stoicism teaches us patience. Growth rarely happens overnight, but every small step builds momentum toward a stronger, wiser self. Adversity is not something to fear or resist. It is something to embrace. It pushes us to the limits of our strength, revealing capacities we never knew we had. It teaches us resilience, humility, and gratitude. Most importantly, it reminds us that the obstacles we face do not define us. Our responses do. Reflection. The next time you encounter a challenge, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? By embracing adversity, you not only overcome it, but emerge transformed with greater clarity and purpose. What challenges are you facing today? Share your thoughts below, and let's inspire each other to turn obstacles into opportunities. 4. Mastering emotions. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Adversity challenges us not only physically, but emotionally. While facing obstacles can test our resilience, it is often our emotions that either propel us forward or hold us back. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom reminds us that true strength lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in mastering our internal reactions. By learning to control our emotions, we unlock the power to navigate life's trials with clarity and purpose. Reflect on a typical day. How often do external events dictate your mood? Perhaps someone cuts you off in traffic, a colleague makes a dismissive remark, or an unexpected challenge disrupts your plans. These situations may spark anger, frustration, or anxiety. Left unchecked, such emotions can spiral, clouding judgment and leading to hasty reactions we later regret. Yet, Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control these events, we can always control how we respond. Take Anna's story as an example. As a project manager, Anna often dealt with demanding deadlines and differing opinions. In one particularly stressful meeting, a colleague publicly criticized her proposal. Initially, Anna felt a surge of anger and humiliation. Her instinct was to snap back defensively, but she paused, recalling Marcus Aurelius's teaching. Instead of reacting emotionally, she took a deep breath and responded calmly, addressing the feedback constructively. This not only diffused the tension, but also showcased her professionalism. This ability to pause and choose your response is the cornerstone of emotional mastery. It requires practice, but the rewards are transformative. Anna's approach not only earned her respect, but also preserved her peace of mind. By mastering her emotions, she stayed true to her values and strengthened her position as a leader. So how can you cultivate this kind of emotional resilience? Start with a simple yet powerful Stoic exercise: emotional journaling. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on moments when your emotions flared. Ask yourself, what triggered this emotional response? Was my reaction proportionate to the situation? How could I have responded differently to align with my values? By journaling, you gain insight into your emotional patterns and identify areas for improvement. Over time, this practice helps you recognize triggers and pause before reacting, allowing you to respond intentionally rather than impulsively. Another practical strategy is to visualize challenging scenarios in advance, a Stoic technique known as premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. By imagining potential setbacks or conflicts, you mentally prepare yourself to face them with composure. This preparation empowers you to remain steady when emotions threaten to overwhelm you. Mastering emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. On the contrary, it's about understanding and channeling them constructively. Anger can become a drive for justice, fear can heighten awareness, and sadness can deepen empathy. The key is to let emotions inform you without controlling you. Connection to the previous lesson. Just as adversity offers opportunities for growth, emotional mastery allows us to face challenges with grace and strength. Together, these skills form the foundation for a resilient and meaningful life. Reflection. The next time you feel emotions rising, pause and ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? Start your journaling journey today and take the first step toward emotional mastery. What situations challenge your emotional control the most? Share your experiences below. Your story could inspire others on their journey to self-mastery. 5. Letting go of control. If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. Marcus Aurelius. In a world filled with uncertainty, the instinct to control every aspect of life often feels like a defense mechanism. We believe that by controlling outcomes, we can shield ourselves from disappointment or pain. However, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the real source of our distress is not external events, but our judgments about them. The Stoic path to peace lies in embracing what we can control, our reactions, while releasing the illusion of control over external circumstances. Consider Sarah, a graphic designer with a deep commitment to excellence. She was known for her attention to detail, but often found herself paralyzed by the pursuit of perfection. Each project became an exhausting cycle of revisions, as Sarah feared that even the slightest flaw would lead to rejection or criticism. This perfectionism not only drained her energy, but delayed her progress on important deadlines, leaving her overwhelmed and frustrated. One day, Sarah encountered the Stoic concept of focusing on what lies within her control. She realized that while she couldn't ensure others would always praise her work, she could control her effort and mindset. She decided to shift her approach. Instead of chasing perfection, she committed to delivering her best within a reasonable time frame. The results were transformative. By letting go of the need to control every detail, Sarah began to find joy in the creative process again. She met her deadlines with confidence, embraced constructive feedback as a tool for growth, and discovered that good enough often led to exceptional results. Most importantly, she freed herself from the weight of unrealistic expectations, gaining clarity and balance in both her work and personal life. Stoicism teaches us that the desire for control often stems from fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty. Yet, when we focus on controlling the uncontrollable, we not only exhaust ourselves but miss the opportunities present in the moment. The key is to accept that while we can't dictate outcomes, we always have the power to choose how we respond. A practical exercise to embrace this mindset is the dichotomy of control, a core Stoic principle. Start by dividing situations into two categories: what you can control, your actions, effort, and attitude; what you cannot control, the reactions, opinions, or decisions of others. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself to invest energy only in the first category. This shift in focus not only reduces stress, but empowers you to act decisively, knowing you're doing your best within your sphere of influence. Letting go of control also means releasing the need for perfection. Life is inherently unpredictable, and no amount of planning can guarantee a flawless outcome. Instead of fearing imperfections, view them as opportunities for learning and growth. Just as Sarah discovered, embracing imperfection allows you to focus on action and progress rather than paralysis and doubt. Connection to the previous lesson. Mastering your emotions and letting go of control go hand in hand. When you release the need to control every outcome, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and open the door to greater emotional resilience. Reflection. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is beyond my control? How can I focus my energy on actions that align with my values? Share your thoughts below. Your journey to letting go may inspire someone else to take the first step toward peace and freedom. 6. Living with gratitude. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. In a world that constantly pushes us to strive for more success, more possessions, more recognition, it's easy to overlook the abundance already present in our lives. Epictetus reminds us that true wisdom lies not in lamenting what we lack, but in cherishing what we have. Gratitude is a simple yet transformative practice that allows us to find joy in even the smallest blessings, shifting our focus from scarcity to abundance. Consider the story of Daniel, a young professional caught in the rat race of modern life. Daniel was always chasing the next promotion, the next achievement, believing that happiness lay just beyond the horizon. Yet no matter how much he achieved, he felt an emptiness he couldn't shake. His mind was preoccupied with what he didn't have: a bigger house, a more prestigious job title, or greater social approval. One day, Daniel stumbled upon the Stoic philosophy of gratitude. Inspired by Epictetus's wisdom, he decided to try an experiment. Every evening, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first, it felt awkward, even trivial. What was there to be grateful for in his hectic, imperfect life? But as the days turned into weeks, a profound change began to unfold. Daniel started noticing small moments of beauty and joy he had previously taken for granted: the warmth of sunlight streaming through his window, the laughter of his friends during a casual dinner, or the simple pleasure of completing a task. His gratitude journal became a mirror reflecting the richness of his daily life, teaching him that happiness wasn't something to chase, but something to cultivate in the present moment. Gratitude is not about ignoring life's challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it is a practice of acknowledging the good amidst the difficulties. It is a way of anchoring yourself in the present, finding meaning and joy even in life's simplest aspects. This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate problems, but it equips you with a mindset that makes those problems more manageable. The practice of gratitude is both simple and profound, offering a powerful way to shift your perspective and embrace the beauty in everyday life. One way to begin is by keeping a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, take a moment to write down 3 things you are grateful for, whether it's a kind gesture from a stranger, a delicious meal, or the resilience you demonstrated during a challenging situation. In addition to journaling, pause and reflect throughout the day to notice and appreciate the good around you. It might be as simple as savoring the rich aroma of your morning coffee or admiring the vibrant colors of a sunset. Finally, express your gratitude to others. A heartfelt thank you, a thoughtful note, or a kind word can deepen your connections and spread positivity, creating a ripple effect of appreciation and joy in your relationships. Through these practices, gratitude becomes a daily habit, grounding you in the present and helping you find meaning and happiness in the smallest moments. Living with gratitude transforms your perspective. Instead of constantly yearning for what's next, you begin to value what's here. This shift doesn't just make you happier, it also fosters resilience, contentment, and a deeper sense of connection to the world around you. Connection to the previous lesson. Letting go of control clears your mind to focus on what truly matters. Gratitude then fills that space with a profound sense of joy and appreciation. Reflection. What are 3 things you're grateful for today? Take a moment to write them down or share them in the comments below. By practicing gratitude daily, you'll discover that happiness isn't found in acquiring more, but in cherishing what you already have. 7. Facing solitude. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. In a world obsessed with constant connectivity and validation, solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness. Yet, as Seneca reminds us, true poverty lies not in isolation, but in an insatiable craving for external affirmation. Solitude, when embraced, is not a void, but a sanctuary, a space to explore, understand, and grow into the best version of ourselves. Consider the story of Nikola Tesla, one of history's most brilliant inventors. Tesla often chose solitude, viewing it not as a curse, but as a necessity for his creativity. While others sought distraction in social events or idle chatter, Tesla retreated into quiet contemplation. It was in these moments of solitude that he conceived revolutionary ideas, alternating current, wireless energy, and many other innovations that shaped the modern world. Tesla's example demonstrates that solitude is not a barrier to achievement, but a catalyst for profound discovery. But how do we, in the modern age, shift our perspective on solitude? It begins with reframing the narrative. Solitude is not about being isolated from others, but about connecting deeply with yourself. It is in these quiet moments that we confront our thoughts, aspirations, and fears, gaining clarity on who we are and what truly matters. Imagine this. Instead of filling every moment with distractions, social media, emails, or endless conversations, you set aside intentional time to be alone. In this space, you might discover creative ideas, unearth hidden passions, or find solutions to problems that seemed insurmountable. Just as Tesla did, you begin to see solitude as an ally, not an enemy. One practical exercise to embrace solitude is setting aside a quiet hour each day. During this time, turn off all devices, avoid external stimuli, and simply sit with your thoughts. You could use this time for journaling, meditating, or brainstorming ideas. At first, the silence may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. But with practice, it becomes a source of peace and inspiration. Solitude also teaches us to differentiate between loneliness and aloneness. Loneliness is a feeling of lack, often stemming from a need for external validation or connection. Aloneness, on the other hand, is a state of fullness, a recognition that you are whole and complete in your own company. This shift in perspective can transform the way you experience being alone, turning it into an opportunity for growth rather than a source of discomfort. Stoic philosophy further reminds us that solitude fosters resilience. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you become less dependent on others for happiness. This independence doesn't mean cutting off relationships, but approaching them from a place of strength rather than neediness. It allows you to build connections based on mutual respect and shared values, rather than a fear of being alone. Connection to the previous lesson. Gratitude helps you appreciate what you already have, including your own inner resources. Solitude builds on this by giving you the space to explore those resources and develop a deeper understanding of yourself. Reflection. When was the last time you spent intentional, uninterrupted time alone? Did you use that time to reflect, create, or simply be? Share your experiences in the comments below. Embracing solitude may feel challenging at first, but it could become the key to unlocking your true potential. 8. Failure as a lesson. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca. Failure is often feared, misunderstood, and avoided at all costs. Yet, as Seneca wisely observed, challenges and difficulties are not threats but opportunities to grow stronger, just as physical labor builds the body. Failure is not the end of the road. It is a launching pad for growth, resilience, and self-discovery. When embraced with the right mindset, failure transforms from a painful setback into a valuable teacher. Consider the story of David, an ambitious entrepreneur who poured his heart and soul into his first business venture. He meticulously planned every detail, secured investors, and launched his dream company with high hopes. But within a year, unforeseen market changes and operational missteps led to the business collapsing. Devastated and consumed by self-doubt, David initially saw this failure as the ultimate defeat. However, after taking time to reflect, David realized he had two choices: dwell on his mistakes or use them as stepping stones to rebuild. He chose the latter. Applying lessons learned from his failed venture, he launched a second business. This time he prioritized adaptability, built a stronger team, and remained open to feedback. The journey was not easy, but his perseverance paid off, and his second business not only succeeded, but thrived. David's story illustrates a profound truth. Failure is not a judgment on your worth or abilities. It is a temporary state that offers invaluable lessons. Each setback teaches you something about your approach, your strategies, and yourself. The key is to view failure not as an endpoint, but as part of the learning process. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that our response to failure defines its impact on our lives. We cannot always control the outcomes of our efforts, but we can control how we interpret and respond to them. When faced with failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this knowledge to improve? By reframing failure as a teacher, you shift your focus from self-pity to self-improvement. A practical way to harness the power of failure is to keep a failure journal. Each time you experience a setback, write down the following. What went wrong? What did you learn from the experience? How can you apply these lessons moving forward? This practice not only helps you process failure constructively, but also builds a mindset of resilience and growth. Over time, you'll begin to see failure not as a source of shame, but as a necessary step on the path to success. Reflection. Take a moment to think about a failure you've experienced in the past. What did it teach you, and how did it shape the person you are today? Share your story in the comments below. Your journey might inspire someone else who is struggling to see the silver lining in their own challenges. If this lesson resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who may need a reminder that failure is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring lessons. Together, let's turn setbacks into stepping stones and build lives defined by strength, wisdom, and purpose. 9. The value of discipline. Discipline is freedom. Jocko Willink. Discipline often carries the misconception of restriction or rigidity, but in reality, it is the gateway to true freedom. This principle resonates deeply with the Stoic ethos, where discipline is viewed as the cornerstone of self-mastery, success, and a meaningful life. By cultivating discipline, you gain the ability to direct your actions toward your goals, resist fleeting distractions, and unlock the freedom to live life on your terms. Consider Mia, a young professional who struggled with procrastination. Despite her ambition to write a novel, she found herself constantly putting off the work. Each day, she would plan to start, only to get sidetracked by social media, binge-watching shows, or waiting for the perfect moment. Weeks turned into months, and her dream remained unfulfilled. One day, Mia stumbled upon the idea that discipline equals freedom. Inspired by this mindset, she decided to take small, consistent steps toward her goal. She began by setting aside 30 minutes each morning for writing, no excuses. At first, the discipline felt uncomfortable, even unnatural, but over time, the habit became a source of empowerment. As Mia's commitment grew, so did her results. Within 6 months, she completed the first draft of her novel, a goal she had once thought impossible. Through discipline, Mia discovered a liberating truth. The structure and effort she once resisted were not shackles, but tools that helped her achieve the freedom to pursue her passion. Discipline is the ability to prioritize long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. It is the quiet strength that allows you to make consistent progress, even when motivation wanes. The Stoics understood this well. emphasizing that true freedom comes from mastery over one's impulses and desires. Discipline is not about denying yourself joy. It's about creating a framework where your actions align with your values and aspirations. A practical way to build discipline is through a concept known as micro-commitments. Start small, set achievable daily goals that build momentum. For instance, if you want to get fit, commit to exercising for just 10 minutes a day. If you aim to learn a new skill, dedicate 15 minutes to practice. These small wins not only establish a routine, but also build confidence in your ability to stick to your commitments. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace discomfort as part of the journey. Challenges and resistance are not obstacles, but opportunities to strengthen your discipline. Each time you push through procrastination, resist a temptation, or stick to your plan despite difficulties, you reinforce your ability to stay the course. Reflection. Ask yourself, what is one area in your life where a lack of discipline is holding you back? How can you create small, consistent actions to overcome this challenge? Discipline is not about perfection, but persistence. It's the decision to show up day after day for what matters most to you. As Jocko Willink's wisdom reminds us, discipline is the key to freedom. Freedom to achieve your goals, fulfill your potential, and create a life that reflects your true values. If this message resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. What challenges have you faced in building discipline, and what strategies have worked for you? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more lessons on mastering your mind and living a life of purpose. Together, let's turn discipline into the foundation of our freedom. 10. Discovering the meaning of life. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. What makes a life truly meaningful? Is it the pursuit of success, the accumulation of material possessions, or something deeper? Marcus Aurelius reminds us that meaning begins with the mind, with the quality of our thoughts and the purposefulness of our actions. A life of purpose isn't defined by external achievements, but by an inner alignment with what truly matters. Consider the profound example of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, whose journey exemplifies the power of finding meaning even in the darkest times. Imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, Frankl faced unimaginable suffering, losing his family, freedom, and dignity. Yet amidst the despair, he found purpose by helping his fellow prisoners and holding on to the belief that life still had meaning. In his groundbreaking book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." His insight speaks to a universal truth. Meaning is not something we stumble upon, it's something we create. By choosing our response to suffering, we reclaim our agency and discover a purpose that transcends circumstances. For Frankl, this purpose came from small yet profound acts. Comforting a despondent fellow prisoner, imagining reuniting with loved ones, or planning the work he would do if he survived. These acts infused his suffering with meaning, enabling him to endure and ultimately inspire millions through his story. What does this mean for us today? In our modern lives, we often chase external markers of success, wealth, recognition, or status, believing they will bring fulfillment. Yet as countless stories of discontent among the successful show, these pursuits often leave us empty. True meaning comes not from what we achieve, but from how we live. It's found in the relationships we nurture, the values we uphold, and the contributions we make to something larger than ourselves. To begin discovering your own sense of meaning, start by asking these questions. What brings you joy and fulfillment? Reflect on activities that make you feel most alive and connected to your inner self. What impact do you want to have? Think about how your actions can positively influence others or contribute to a greater cause. What values guide your life? Clarify the principles that matter most to you and align your choices with them. A practical exercise to deepen this exploration is to journal daily about moments that felt meaningful. It could be as simple as helping a friend, enjoying a creative pursuit, or practicing gratitude. Over time, you'll begin to recognize patterns that reveal what truly resonates with you. As this video draws to a close, remember that meaning isn't a destination. It's a practice. It's found in the way you approach each day, in the quality of your thoughts, and in the intentionality of your actions. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the 10 life lessons inspired by Stoic philosophy. If this message resonated with you, we encourage you to like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from these timeless lessons. Together, let's spread the wisdom of living with purpose and meaning. What does meaning look like in your life? Share your reflections in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content to help you master your mind and transform your life. Until next time, may your thoughts guide you toward a life of fulfillment and purpose. As we wrap up this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Each lesson we've explored today isn't just theoretical. It's a practical guide to living a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. From embracing adversity to practicing gratitude, letting go of control to finding meaning, these principles have the power to transform not just your outlook, but your very existence. The true beauty of Stoicism lies in its application. These lessons are not meant to be stored away in the back of your mind. They're tools to be used, starting today. Choose one. Face a challenge with grace. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, or let go of something beyond your control. Small actions lead to monumental change. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What lesson resonated with you the most? Have you already begun applying Stoic principles in your life? Share your experiences in the comments below and inspire others to take their first steps toward change. If this video brought value to your day, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because together we can bring these life-changing lessons to even more people. As you take these steps forward, keep this challenge in mind. How will you choose to live today so that tomorrow you are no longer the same? Let that question guide you, and let Stoicism be your compass. See you next time.